everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to day 9 of my 25 Days of Craftmas series. Today I'm showing you how to make this Merry Christmas pallet sign. This sign is made with heat transfer vinyl. I love it because you get the look of paint without all the mess. Now let's go take a look at the supply list and get started. For this project you'll need a wood pallet, and mine measures about 16 inches wide by 12 inches tall. You'll need buffalo plaid scrapbook paper, white heat transfer vinyl, jute twine, a hot glue gun and glue, a mini press or small iron, and of course your Cricut, a cutting mat, and the cut file. So grab your supplies and head over to your computer. The first thing we need to do is grab the SVG file we'll be using for this project. You can get it for free on my blog at burtonavenue.com. I keep all the SVG files for the projects I make and share in my free SVG library. These files will work with all kinds of cutting machines and they're free to everyone. Once you're on my site, just go to Free SVG Files and then Free SVG Library. You will need a password to get into the library, and there are instructions on the screen if you need to get one. For this project, we're going to be using the cut file called Merry Christmas BA2109. To find it, just use your browser search and type in 2109. Once you've found the link, go ahead and click on it, and the files will be downloaded onto your computer. Now I'm going to show you how to set up and cut your design in Cricut Design Space. If you're not sure how to unzip and import designs into Cricut Design Space, be sure to check out my step-by-step tutorial. So this is what the design is going to look like once you import it onto the Canvas screen. So now we just need to resize it so that it will work with our project. To do that, I'm going to create a rectangle that is the same size as my sign. So I'm going to click on Shapes and then choose a square. And then I'm going to go up here and unlock the padlock and put in the dimensions of my sign, which is 16 inches wide by 12 inches tall. I'm also going to click on the minus sign a couple times so I can see everything a little bit better. And then I'm going to choose Arrange and Send to Back. And that will just bring my design in front of the rectangle. Now we can select the design and just resize it until it looks good on this rectangle. When you're resizing, you want to make sure that everything is still grouped together so that it resizes both the words and these pennant flags proportionally. So the size of this is about 13.5 inches, and I think that looks good. So now I can delete the rectangle. The next thing that we're going to do is ungroup this design so that we can select individual portions to attach them. So you're just going to right click and choose Ungroup, and that will break apart the black from these red pieces. So then you can just right click and choose Attach, and that will attach the perforation lines to the pennant flag shapes. And then you'll also need to do the same thing with the Merry Christmas. So you'll right click and choose Attach. And that will just lock all these pieces together so they cut the same way that we see them on the screen. And that is all that we need to do on this screen. So we can click on the green Make It button. And this is just a warning that this part of the design is a little bit bigger than a normal mat. So we are going to need a piece of vinyl that is about 14.5 inches tall. And we're going to need to use a larger cutting mat. So click on OK. And you can also click down to this other mat and see the pennant flags there. So these are going to be cut from a buffalo plaid scrapbook paper. And then this is going to be cut out of white heat transfer vinyl. And since we're using heat transfer vinyl, we need to make sure that the mirror is turned on. And now we can click on the green Continue button. Once Design Space finds your Cricut, you'll be taken to this screen. Make sure that your dial is set to iron on, and then you can go load your mat. So you're going to place a piece of white heat transfer vinyl onto your cutting mat and smooth it down. Load it into your Cricut by pressing the up and down arrow button. When your Cricut is ready to cut, you'll see the C button light up. Press that and the machine will begin cutting. When everything has been cut, you can press the up and down arrow button again to unload your mat. Remove the heat transfer vinyl from your cutting mat and place on your piece of scrapbook paper. Load that into your Cricut by pressing the up and down arrow button. Turn your dial to the cardstock setting and then press the C button to start the cutting process. To remove the scrapbook paper, you'll want to slightly bend your cutting mat and carefully pull off the pennant pieces. Grab your sheet of heat transfer vinyl and weed away the excess vinyl from around the words and shapes. You can use a weeding tool to pull out the little pieces left inside of the letters. You'll also want to cut apart the letters of the word Merry. Position the design on your pallet sign so it looks straight and centered from left to right. You'll want the bottom of the design to be about an inch up from the bottom of your sign. Use a mini press or iron to apply firm pressure to the HTV. The hardest part of putting heat transfer vinyl on pallet wood is making sure the entire design gets enough pressure. Since some of the slats are a little higher than others, try to apply pressure to each slat individually. I pressed each section for about 15 seconds at the hottest temperature setting. Once all the sections have been pressed, you can pull off the clear carrier sheet. Next, grab one of the pennant flags and fold it in half. Place it on a flat, heat-resistant surface and put the letter M on it. Press that for about 10 seconds and then pull off the clear carrier sheet. Repeat that step with the other letters. Add some glue around the bottom edges of the paper pennant. Place some jute twine over the center of the pennant and fold it in half. Attach the rest of the letters to the twine in the same manner. Use some hot glue to attach your pennant banner to the top of your wood pallet sign. Adjust the letters until they are spaced evenly, and that's it. Your project is finished. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so you'll get notified each time I post something new.